The PS5 is here. Today we'll break down core aspects of Sony's next-gen console. It offers lightning-fast performance, robust visuals, and a revolutionary controller. So let's take a moment together and discover what it's like to play the new PS5.
Well, hello there. Welcome to Caleb's HQ. Today we're going to talk about my first impressions of the PS5. This will not be a crazy spec breakdown. I'm going to say a few numbers, and that's it in regards to performance. This is essentially going to boil down to what does it feel like having a PS5, and who is it for? Who do I think it's for? And if it's not for you just yet, when do I think it will be for you? If it'll be for you at all. So that's kind of what we're going to get into today. Shall we? Design. Well, it's freaking huge. It is absolutely gargantuan. I don't know if you can understand the scale of it on camera, but this is, I'm not a small human. I'm a pretty normal sized dude. This is my official measurement. It is massive, guys. It is a bit of an issue finding the right place for it. I think it's this size because Sony really wants to keep things pretty dang quiet, which it is pretty dang quiet, and they want it to stay cool for a long time. We'll see how that works out for them. Do not underestimate the size of the system. If you're in a small, compact area where space is crucial, well, we're gonna find out how much you want the PS5. Let's just put it that way. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I love the color. The pure white looks gorgeous. They did use the piano finish again. Sony, stop using the piano finish. Just the dust in the air, the dust particles just caressing it on the way down. That's enough to scratch that surface. The shell's going to look beautiful for years. It's going to look great as long as you take care of it. No matter what you do, even though it's not being touched, it's just going to magically get scratched. I wish manufacturers would stop using that shiny finish. Matte finish all the way, okay? Matte finish from now on. The controller, I'm going to give the controller some spotlight later on. I think the controller is beautiful. That is a part of the whole design aesthetic. You can tell that this goes with that system. They were right on the money with the color coordination, all that good stuff. The build quality on both systems seems to be very solid. So there you go, guys. There's my breakdown of the design. Moving on. So let's talk about inputs and outputs, shall we? How do you get stuff in? How does stuff come out of it? This is a respectable I/O system, input-output. So you've got four USBs. You've got a USB-A and a USB-C on the front. Then you've got two USB-As on the back. They're all very fast. The USB-C is spicy boy fast, very, very quick. So what does that mean with four USBs? That essentially gives you the ability to charge a couple controllers. If you don't have, Sony has their own little charging stand for the controllers. If you don't have that, you can easily charge a couple controllers at the same time. And of course you've got another spare for the external hard drive, which you'll need. And then of course, if you're into the camera stuff, you've got another spot for the camera. Thankfully, it's just a plain old USB-A camera. The big improvement, of course, is the HDMI. The HDMI port is a 2.1 HDMI port. So this can do 4K 120 Hertz simultaneously. There is a big caveat. Your TV has to be able to accept that signal, has to be able to output that signal. If you're shopping for TVs, be careful and make sure it does 4K at 120 Hertz. You'll be able to tell because it will say HDMI 2.1. Very, very new tech, and most manufacturers are getting caught up to it. But most TVs out on the market, they are absolutely not 2.1 HDMI. So fair warning. Yep, there you go. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, there's an Ethernet port, so you can go on the internet with a cable. Yeah, forgot that part. Moving on. How does it feel performance-wise? It is fast. It is, oh boy, is it quick. The PS5, it's faster not only because of all the horsepower, but because of the new storage system. SSD is where it's at, and this doesn't have just an SSD. It has one of the fastest SSDs on the market for a consumer. It cannot be overstated how incredibly good it feels to be able to, the system can be shut off completely, and it, from a cold boot, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and you're jumping into the game. If it's in sleep mode, which is what I recommend, which is what I keep it in, sleep mode, you hit that button and it's like waking someone up from a nap real quick. They're like, huh? Oh yeah, no, let's go. Yeah, let's go get some lunch. Boom, back into the game. At no point in time have I been like, dang it, this isn't as fast as I thought it would be. It's the opposite. It's so fast that you are like forced into tunnel vision. It demands your focus because it's so quick. I cannot give it enough praise at the level of speed that we have finally reached. Fast travel is actually fast travel now. Demon's Souls is one of my main games on here, one of the only next-gen games. Click, boom, loaded, done. Everything, all the textures are in. You can see 10 miles into the distance, and it is, oh my God. It is so fast. Even last gen stuff loads faster. That's important because this is essentially a PS4 built into it. Even last gen stuff, you're saving time left and right. If you're on the PS5, you are saving time, and time is precious. And I really, really want to thank Sony for saving us, for saving millions of people, millions of hours of time. So there you go. Kudos, Sony. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, moving on. The operating system, yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not impressed, but I'm not displeased. I truly am pretty indifferent. I think it might be more intuitive, but it's different enough from PS4 to where 3 months into it, I still find myself like pushing the wrong buttons to do the wrong things. Like powering the system down, which you're gonna do every day. Like going into sleep mode. I think it's the right way to do it, but I'm not sure. I feel like it's not quite the right way to do it. Whatever we don't like about the OS in terms of optimization and options, those are simple firmware updates. I'm sure that's probably going to be something pretty quickly down the road that we see changes in. So operating system wise, yeah, it's fine. It's good enough. It'll work. So we have got to talk about this controller. I am gonna try to keep my wits about me and not let you guys know just how head over heels I am for this freaking controller. It is so good. It's so good. Ergonomically, Sony built it just for me. I swear I was sleeping one day and a bunch of Sony ninjas came in and I was like passed out and they were like taking molds in my hands, and I woke up and I thought I heard something, but maybe it was the kids, I don't know, and then this showed up. Ergonomically, this is my favorite controller to hold. I'm gonna say it. I think I'm over the honeymoon. I'm pretty sure I am. I've held all the controllers that the gaming universe has to offer for me to hold. This feels incredible. The buttons feel good. D-pad feels great. The buttons are separated, so that's good. That's 4 distinct buttons. Triggers feel great, and we'll talk about the triggers in a second, don't you worry. The touchpad is still here. I think it's gonna get less attention. So basically, just like PS4, the whole 5 games that used it. The touchpad, yeah, it's there. It does touchpad stuff. I don't really know what they changed, if they changed anything. This is smooth. That feels great. I love the controller. But more importantly, I love the tech inside the controller. This controller has two very impressive new features. The first one that gets a lot of the spotlight is the adaptive trigger system. What that basically means is if you ever played racing games in the arcade that had force feedback, you know, like Rush. Ooh. If you played Rush, the only awesome racing game ever, the best one ever, Rush, the first one, San Francisco, the Rock Edition. Anyways, when you play it, it would give you feedback. It would literally, there was a motor that would resist the opposite direction. It would jerk around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. That's the same concept of what's in here. Completely different mechanical design. It works different, but it is an adaptive system. Call of Duty is the easy one to explain this with. Every gun that you pick up has a feel to it. So if you've got a machine gun, when you hold it, it will legitimately go against you. Yep, that's exactly what it sounds like I'm trying to explain. This button will force itself back up against you. Sometimes it's got a harder push to it depending on what firearm you're using, so you gotta put a bit more kink and then a boom, boom, boom. When it's reloaded, it's got a weird... There's endless ways to make these work. Racing games, I haven't played one that uses it. I don't know if there is one, but racing games, I'm sure we're gonna feel some incredible adaptive trigger stuff going on. Brake-wise, I'm sure we're gonna be able to intimately tell how to brake. And the gas, oh man, I love racing games. I am so hyped to play some racing games. Gran Turismo, please be good. Please be good, Gran Turismo. The other half of the new tech pie is the insane haptic feedback system. Basically, haptic feedback is just fancy vibration. You've got a three-dimensional, fully colorized, very, very, very sensitive and precise haptic vibration system. So what does that translate to in the gaming world? Well, ASTROS Playroom is a great example. These surfaces that you walk on, ASTROS Playroom, think of it as like a Mario-esque game. If you're not familiar with Sony's little robot dude, he's basically Mario. He's Mario with Sony just painted over Mario. And it's like, that's not as good, but people will have to accept it. We can't do Mario. In ASTROS Playroom, in ASTROS Playroom, say you're walking on grass, it feels like grass. You jump in the water, it kind of feels like water. You go on the sand, it feels sandy. You walk on wood, by golly, it feels like you're kind of walking on wood. Obviously, you can only translate that so much. It's not like like the texture of it, but the feedback of wood and sand and concrete and whatnot. The LEDs have definitely grown up. On the PS4, they were like a really basic, silly looking color. I shouldn't say silly, but you know, these are far more advanced. The colors look better. It just looks more grown up. The way that they use the LED system, for sure. I love it. I love the design. So okay, moving on. This is probably the most important part of the video. Well, I'm happy to report the PS5 is very good at playing video games. It is incredibly good at playing video games. I gotta do this in a two-part segment here, because you're buying a PS4. If you're trying to get a PS5, if you own a PS5, you already know this. Congratulations, you're the proud new owner of a PS4 also. It plays PS4 games incredibly well. I have probably played about 30 or 40 PS4 games at this point in time. Some of them are cross-gen. I'm going to touch on that. It's going to be kind of a weird segment because we're transitioning into the next gen. So there's some weird next gen happenings going on that we'll talk about. As far as purely PS4 games, I forgot how much I love Diablo. This game seems to load instantly. I know it's a PS3 game. It better load instantly, and it does. It's like half a second to load to go anywhere inside the game. Plays flawlessly, looks great. Yeah, anyways, PS4 games, guys, they run fantastic. Make sure if you're getting this for PS4 use, which is one of its bigger selling points this early into it, make sure you got that really beefy and reliable external. So there you go, guys. Yeah, plays PS4 games, great. So the other half is PS5 games. Well, here's the thing. It's not a lot of PS5 games right now, but I will tell you guys how I feel about the very few games that I've gotten to play with. Yeah, I'm gonna save him for last. Let's get the crappy one out of the way. Godfall. Yes, Godfall is a next-gen only game, and save your money, and more importantly, save your time. If someone gives it to you, I gotta be careful. I don't want to be too mean to it. Godfall was a big letdown. That's what it boils down to. Is it a terrible game? No. Is it a great game? Not even close. Is it a next-gen game? Visually, maybe. Like, there are effects that were clearly only capable on the PS5, but so many PS4 games look so much better than Godfall. So yeah, that wasn't a very good showcase of PS5 games, to be honest with you. This is what a lot of you will experience when you get your PS5, if you get it here in the next 6 months to a year. It's going to be a slow start, so you're going to see a lot of cross-gen games. I played the PS4 version and the PS5 version. The PS5 version, definitely prettier, definitely nicer, definitely runs faster. You get the haptic feedback, you get the adaptive triggers. So there you go. So cross-gen games, yes, they for sure run a lot better on PS5. Valhalla had Assassin's Creed Valhalla had some technical issues on the last gen. Yeah, had some technical issues. Didn't look super great, glitched out quite a bit. Maybe it's fixed now. I didn't really play it that much, but the PS5 version, awesome, super awesome. I think it runs at 60. I think it's 4K. It's probably both at the same time. 60 frames, 4K. That's the standard. All you developers and publishers, that's the standard now. Don't disappoint us. We might let you get away with 4K 30 frames if it looks really good. But I'm telling you guys, you're gonna get dangerously comfortable with 4K 60 frames. That really is like the big thing between the two different generations, like cross-generation stuff like Spider-Man, Miles Morales. It runs better and faster and prettier, the PS5 version. Even the original, they optimized for the PS5. So yeah, so those hybrid games, yep, obviously get the PS5. Obviously play the PS5 version. This is the only game that I recall you having to give them an extra $10 for. All the other games, if you bought the PS4 version, you get a free download for the PS5 version. So Spider-Man, Miles Morales, you can buy the PS4 game, put it in here. It'll prompt, it's digital of course, but it's a free digital download. Boom. All you gotta do is just make sure the disc is in there, and then you're set. So all the Assassin's Creed did that. Yes, I think Watch Dogs Legion did that also. This is the only one where they made you pay an extra $10. So keep that in mind. As far as next gen goes, this is your next gen PS5 game. Demon Souls. If you liked Demon Souls back in the PS3 era, you're gonna freaking love it now. It is, they didn't just like make it a little bit more detailed. They like rebuilt the game. It's the same game. It's very faithful in that regard. Like the actual framework is the same. It's the same game. It just looks so much better. Just know that if you get a PS5 and you're like, shoot, what games are there? this one's got your back. This one's got your back for sure. I put a ton of hours. I refuse to beat it because when it's done, I'm gonna be sad. So yeah, Demon Souls is where it's at. Astro's Playroom, it is just a tech demo, but it is an incredibly beefy and intuitive and clever tech demo. It's just showcasing the controller. And trust me, it's built into the system. If you get a PS5, play Astro's Playroom. I'm gonna always get the name wrong. Play Astro's Playroom. It will tell you exactly what your system's capable of, and it kind of gives you a glimpse of the future. Yep, guys, there's not a lot of games right now. You know, there you go. There's the games. Stop buying them for $1,000. Let's talk about the few things I do not like about the system. Like, genuinely don't like. Maybe these two issues won't be a problem for you. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's a blend of both. Either way, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't just give you a heads up. One's obvious and one's not as obvious. The less obvious one, until you get the system, is the pretty whack battery life. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like I'm getting 3 to 4 to 5 hours. Whatever the time is, I know it's not long enough because I'm constantly having to get up, go grab a cable, go grab my other controller, which I've got 4 of them. Why do I have 4? Because I got a family of gamers. When I know it's gonna be a Diablo night with the family, or we've got a Minecraft Dungeons, Minecraft Dungeons nights, got a couple little ones. When I know it's gonna be a 4-player gaming session, I get nervous. These need to be fully charged up and like on standby. If you're flying solo, if it's just you and the PS5, I'm going to recommend a second controller, or I'm going to recommend that you are very diligent about keeping a cable close by. And this is without playing games that utilize the haptic feedback system and the trigger system. Astro's Playworld, Astro's Funhouse, I don't know. That game, when you're like all the vibrations and haptics and triggers and all that stuff's going on, it's probably like 2 hours maybe. Diablo, I've done a lot of Diablo, a lot of Demon Souls lately, 4 hours give or take. So keep that in mind, guys. Battery is not great. It's not great, especially when you compare to the other systems. The Pro controller on the Switch, 40, 50, 60 hours. I don't even think I charge them. I think they just run off of air. Okay, I got it out of my system. I feel better. Great controller. Yeah, battery life. The much more serious problem is the storage. The storage inside the PS5, is it a deal breaker? No, because I have one right here. It didn't break the deal for me. It definitely requires some thoughts. There's multiple issues with it. Let's just get into it. The internal storage is blazing fast and it's blazing tiny. It says 825 gigs on the box. Do not be fooled. It is 660 gigs. Terabad. Extra spicy, horrible. That translates to like 3 or 4 or 5 games, maybe. Call of Duty, Cold War down here. Look this up, Google this. PS5 Call of Duty Cold War storage requirements. I think it's at 190 gigabytes. I think it is. I really think it's almost 200 gigs. You can play 3 Call of Duty games. you can fit 3 Call of Duty games on here. Cyberpunk is creeping up in size. That's a last gen game, which I put on the hard drive, which I put on the internal, because it kept crashing even worse on the, I don't want to go to Cyberpunk right now. Put it on the external, right? Just put the PS5 games on the external. It doesn't, you can't run PS5 games off the external. You can't run PS5 games off the external. You just at least store them on there. At least store your PS5 games on the external. No sir, that would be an incredibly helpful, useful solution, Sony. Oh, I'm not done yet. Sony even built an internal expansion bay. There is an M.2 expansion bay. What is M.2? It's a freakishly fast fantastic storage solution. It's what the system runs on internally in M.2. There's another one. It's expensive. 1 terabyte for my editing rig back there. I think it costs me 150, no, 200 bucks. It's like 200 bucks. It's expensive. But the option's there. No, it's not. It's not on. The M.2 expansion is not on. You can't do anything about it. You cannot do anything about it right now. You cannot increase the storage for your PS5 games. You cannot store them on the external. Right now, there are only 3 or 4 PS5 games. I'm intensely hoping that by the time the next few games come out in the next few months, Sony has unlocked that M.2. At the time of this video, early February, that M.2 drive, the internal, is still locked. 3 months later, guys, we cannot find a way to store more PS5 games. Is it worth 500 bucks? To me, not even a little bit of question. I would have honestly, I didn't, and thankfully I didn't. I would have paid $700 for this system. Knowing what it's doing, knowing what I'm getting out of it, knowing that it's a PS4, knowing that it's dramatically a leap forward in technology, I would have been like $700. Damn, okay, I'm gonna get it for sure. Damn, $600 would have been like, okay, $600 makes sense. $600 makes sense. $500 to me is it's a good deal. They're gonna fix the storage issues, and then that was battery thing, whatever. But the storage, they're gonna fix that. I think it's worth 500 bucks. But I'm also, I game for a living. It is my center. It is my existence. It's not my hobby. It is literally how I feed my kids, gaming. So it was an easy decision for me. It might be for you if you don't have a PS4, if you never got into PS4, or if you got out like way early into it, say a few years into it, and there's a ton of PS4 games. This is a really good segue into the next gen. You are safely buying a rock solid PS4 system. So that right there, if you're that consumer who just didn't get a PS4, say your Xbox One or PC or whatever the case may be, if you didn't have a PS4, 500 bucks is very much a no-brainer if you wanted a PS4 to begin with. So yeah, that's a no-brainer. If you're buying it for next-gen games, that's where we've got to start pumping the brakes and pretty quickly. I'm here to help you guys out. So I'm here to give you my insight. It is not time to buy a PS5 if you're buying it just for PS5 games. The controller is badass. Demon Soul is rocking my world. Yeah, nope. I wouldn't do it. I'd be close. I'd come close to it. No, in all seriousness, in 6 months to a year, we're gonna have half a dozen really high caliber, solid games to sink our teeth into. That's gonna be the window where I'm gonna start openly saying, man, I think most gamers are probably gonna like the PS5 when they get it. That's 6 months to a year. I don't want to jump the gun. 3 to 4 years. No, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. We got the slim model. We're gonna have better storage internally. We'll probably have a 1 terabyte or 1 terabyte would be pointless. 1.5 terabytes. If there are any bugs that we don't know about yet, hardware-wise, if it overheats, if it gets loud, if the disk drive has issues, in theory they'll have stamped all that out. So you're gonna have plenty of games. If you're very casual, 4 to 5 years, you're gonna get the PS5 Pro. I bet they do it again. I love this system. I think if and when you get it, you're going to absolutely love this system. It's just a great system. There you go. If you've enjoyed Sony's journey so far, this is another incredible chapter to that story. I get about a couple hours a night, and that's 3 months since the day I got it, and I just want to play it more and more and more and more. So there you go, guys. That's how I feel about the PS5. There we go. We'll end it right there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was entertaining, educational. My main goal in life is to help other gamers, to keep you guys informed, and to kind of give you some good perspective without you having to take too big of a risk to get that perspective. So that's what this video is for. I hope you found it informative. Share it. Subscribe, all that fun stuff. More importantly, guys, tell your friends and family that you love them, spend some time with them. Play some games if and when you get time. I know we're all busy. Life's been crazy, especially recently. do what you can, guys. Games are my therapy. They're what completes me. I know that's sappy, but I'm serious. If you're watching this channel, it's probably pretty accurate for you as well. So do not forget to get your game time in. There's no rush, baby. There's no rush. She ain't going nowhere. She's only gonna get prettier and cheaper and more games. Hopefully more storage. All right, love you guys. Until next time, take care. I'll see you soon. Be safe. Peace out.